Have you ever wondered why the person earning $100,000 a year often feels just as stressed as the person earning 50,000? We are taught that the solution to financial struggle is a better degree, a higher salary, or a more prestigious job title. Yet, if you look closely at the streets of London, New York, or Amsterdam, you'll see thousands of professionals who have followed that script perfectly, only to find themselves trapped in a high-end version of the same survival cycle. The uncomfortable truth is this: for most people, a good job isn't a ladder to wealth. It's simply a more comfortable treadmill. Let's look at a typical scenario. For a young professional in a major Western city, you've secured a role in tech, finance, or marketing. Your gross salary is high, but the math of reality sets in almost immediately. After federal and local taxes take their 35%, you're left with a fraction of that impressive number. Then comes the cost of the lifestyle your job demands. You need an apartment in a safe, central neighborhood. That's $2,000. You need a reliable modern car to commute. That's a $500 lease, plus insurance. You have student loans from the degree that got you the job out, and perhaps a bit of credit card debt from the move. By the time you pay for your high-speed internet, your professional wardrobe, and the expensive convenience of takeout food, because you're too exhausted to cook, your high salary has vanished. At the end of the month, you might have $400 left. This is the professional poverty trap. You look successful to the outside world now, but your net worth is moving at the speed of a glacier. The hidden flaw in this system is a concept called lifestyle creep, but it's more insidious than just buying nicer things. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of what an asset is. Most people with good jobs spend their raises on liabilities that look like success. When you get a $10,000 raise, the bank tells you that you can now afford a larger mortgage or a premium SUV. You see this as a reward for your hard work. However, the math tells a different story. That larger mortgage doesn't just cost more in principal, it costs more in interest, property taxes, and maintenance. That premium SUV loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it home. By increasing your fixed costs every time your income rises, you are effectively working more hours just to maintain your level. You aren't getting richer. You are just upgrading the quality of your bills. Psychologically, this happens because of social signaling. In the US and Europe, our identity is often tied to our consumption. We feel that if we earn a certain amount, we should live in a certain neighborhood or drive a certain brand. We seek the approval of people who are also stuck on the same treadmill. This creates a psychological ceiling. You become afraid to take risks or change careers because your monthly expenses are so high that you cannot afford a single month without that specific paycheck. You have traded your freedom for a collection of polished objects. If this trajectory is ignored, the long-term impact is a state of golden handcuffs. You reach your 50s with a high income, but very little equity. You are forced to work until you are 65 or 70, not because you love the job, but because the cost of your life requires it. You have spent 40 years as a highly paid conduit for money, where wealth flows into your bank account and immediately out to your creditors, leaving nothing behind for you. Financially intelligent people view this differently. They decouple their income from their lifestyle. When their salary increases, their standard of living stays the same. For years, they recognize that the goal isn't to look rich, but to be wealthy. Being wealthy means owning your time. Instead of using a raise to buy a new car, they use it to buy income-producing units, stocks, bonds, or real estate. They understand a simple mathematical reality. If you can live on 50% of a high salary and invest the rest, you are buying your retirement one day at a time. They don't see a car as a status symbol. They see it as a tool that depreciates. They don't see a house as an investment. They see it as a primary expense that needs to be minimized. By keeping their fixed costs low, they create a gap. That gap is where freedom lives. It allows them to say no to a toxic boss, to start a business, or to retire decades earlier than their peers. The reason most people never get rich, despite having good jobs, isn't because they don't earn enough. It's because they spend their lives working for money rather than making their money work for them. Wealth is not what you see. It is what you don't spend. It is the silence of a paid-off life, and the security of knowing that your survival is no longer tied to your performance in a corporate office. It is a quiet, disciplined path that lacks the glamour of the lifestyle we see on social media, but it is the only path that leads to genuine autonomy. It requires a shift from being a consumer to being an owner. If this analysis helped you see your finances through a different lens, you might want to like the video or subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of wealth. Thank you for listening.